It's the end of July in southeast Michigan. I'm going to explain today how I propagate and grow my hazelnuts. First, I collect hazelnuts in the fall and put them in a pot just like this and cover them with potting mix, and then I put this over the top to keep chipmunks and mice and whatever else that might want to eat them out of there, because they will dig into the pots and eat all the hazelnuts if I don't keep it covered. Then I surround the pot with mulch to keep the roots from freezing and thawing all winter, or keep the nuts from freezing and thawing all winter, and just leave it there all winter. And in the spring, late spring, early summer, depending on the weather, the nuts will start to sprout. And as soon as they crack open and start sprouting, that's when I put them in individual pots like this so they can start to grow. This one got started kind of late, but most of them are like this now, at the end of July. And then just keep them moist and watered. Every day or every other day I water them. I only use organic potting mix, or I'm planning on making my own, but I'm not real confident in that yet. It's an experiment I'd like to try. So they start out real small like this, and then when they start getting their roots coming out the bottom, time to time, like this one. Oh my, there's a root stuck to the soil. When the roots start coming out the bottom like that, that means they need to go into a bigger pot. And so then I put them in a bigger pot, like this one. I transplanted that into a bigger pot. And then when the roots start growing out of that, then I go to an even bigger pot, like this size. There's one. This one's in a large pot. So like big pots that you'll see fruit trees in stores. That size pot. Okay. And then I just wait till the weather's right, and for sure if the roots start growing out of there, then they have to go in the ground. And when that happens, I will go out into the field and have certain areas where I like to plant them. They can also be planted in the ground when they're small like this, but I like to let them get a little bigger so they have more of a chance. We have a lot of animal pressure that like to browse on them, and it's hard to keep little ones watered like this, keep them from drying out when their root system is not that well established yet. So I like to let them get a little bigger before planting them out in the field. And we don't have the best soil yet. We're working on it. It's pretty much heavy clay. Some parts of our land are better than others, but we have to deal with heavy clay now. So I like to let them get a good root system started first. Okay, so I will show where I plant them. One of the places I'm working on a project. Sorry about the shaky camera work. My project this year is to grow hybrid hazelnuts, and I'm using hazelnuts I got from Forest Ag Enterprises, which is run by Mark Shepard. And he sends really well-rooted hazelnuts. I ordered from him. So that's where I got my hybrid hazelnuts from. But for pollination, we're supposed to use one American hazelnut, like this one here, to every 5 or 6 hybrid hazelnuts. So I planted a row of them. And this is the row, about 6 feet apart. They can be farther apart, but to be more efficient, planted them 6 feet apart. So American, and then 4 or 5 hybrids. I think I planted 5 here, and then another American on down the row. And it's very important to put mulch down when these are planted, because that improves the soil, it keeps moisture in the soil, and it just helps suppress weeds. And cardboard can be used too. This is kind of thin cardboard here. I got uncovered. Sometimes the chickens come in here and scratch the mulch around, so I just apply more mulch as we go. So that is just a project I'm working on, and I also have other projects. Believe it or not, there's somewhere in these weeds are chestnuts growing, which could be a challenge, but I thought I'd try to grow chestnuts because I love chestnuts. They are so good. So I'll try to grow them. If they die because of our clay soil, well, plan B is black walnuts, which grow like weeds around here. So it sounds like the chickens are making a racket, so I'm going to end this video.